It's time for another Dice Tower review with Tim Jennette.
Hey everyone, this is Tim Jennette, the Metal Meeple, and in this video we're going to take a look at a very old game called Pit. Now this is the deluxe version of Pit. It says fun since 1904, but apparently the fun started a year earlier according to Board Game Geek, which is fine. It's designed by Edgar Case, Harry Gavitt, and George Parker. This version is published by Winning Moves, though it has been published by multiple publishers over the years. It says it takes 30 plus minutes to play, and it's for 3 to 8 players. It's basically a crazy screaming fest where up to 8 players are yelling at each other to try to trade for their different commodities, and you're trying to corner the market on one commodity and be the person each round to score points. So let me show you how the game plays, and then we'll come back and I'll tell you what I think. Pit comes with a deck of cards. There are 8 commodities, and for each player below 8, you're going to take 1 out. So essentially you're building a deck, and for each player you're putting in 1 commodity. So for one player you would put in corn. You've got 9 cards to each commodity. For another player you would put in coffee, and say you're playing 6 players, you would have 6 of these commodities to make up that deck. You're going to shuffle that deck, and then you're going to deal out 9 cards to each player, and they're going to have a random hand of cards. Now the idea is you're trying to collect all 9 cards of one commodity. So if you want to go after oats, you need to get all the oat cards. Coffee, you need to get all the coffee cards. In this case, this player would have 4 coffee, 1 oats, 1 barley, 3 soybeans. So going for coffee is a pretty good idea. However, it is worth a lot of points. So you may want to go after soybeans, which are worth less points. That deals in with the strategy, but essentially you got to pick which one you want to go after. Once everybody is kind of prepared, putting their hand in order, the dealer is going to ring this bell. And he's going to say the market is open. And everybody is going to, in real time, choose 1, 2, 3, or 4 cards from their hand. They must all be of the same commodity. So if you wanted to trade your soybean away, you can say 3. You can't show any of these cards to anybody, but what you yell is, I've got 3, I've got 3. Somebody else is going to say, I have 3. And then you two would trade cards and you would get a new commodity in your hand. So you can't see what you're getting, you can't tell anybody what you're giving, and you can trade 1, 2, 3, or 4 cards like that. So you could trade all 4 of these coffee if you wanted to. Eventually this is going to be all chaos and going around the board, but you're going to end up with all 9 cards of one commodity, such as corn. Once you have all 9 cards, you ring the bell, so you've got commodity, or you corner the market on corn, and then everybody stops. And the idea is you play multiple rounds. One person's going to win each round, and they're going to score the points for the commodity they have. So some of the strategy might be like, go for the small ones, or small point ones, because people are trading them off real fast. The normal game plays to 500 points. You can shorten that to 250, and you pretty much can just play as long as you want, I'm assuming. I mean, you don't really have to go by those point totals, but whoever ends up beating that threshold of points will be the winner. The game also comes with the bear and the bull card. Now the bull card can be a wild card. You stick this in the deck, you put both of them in the deck, but essentially if you get the bull, it's going to count as a wild card, so you can have 8 of one card plus the bull, and that'll give you the 9 you need to hit the bell. Alternately, you can also have all 9 cards and the bull, and if you hit the bell with that, you double corner the market and you get double the points for whatever commodity you had. So in the case of corn, you're going to have 75 points times 2, so you get 150 points. Now, the bear is always a bad card to have. You want to trade this off. The bear will give you negative 20 points at the end of the game, or at the end of each round if you have the bear. And on top of that, you cannot hit the bell and end the round if you have the bear, even if you have 9 of the same card. The bull will also give you negative 20 points if you have it at the end of a round, so you kind of want to get rid of that if you don't think you're going to be able to corner the market on one of these commodities. Now if you have both, unfortunately for you, it's negative 40 points. They do stack, so it's negative 20, negative 20. And you just essentially add these to the game. 2 players are going to get a 10th card, but when they trade, You can add this into the trade as long as the rest of the cards are from the same commodity. You can only ever trade 4 cards, so if you wanted to trade 4, you can add the bear or the bull and 3 corn. You can add the bear and the bull and 2 corn, whatever you want to do. You could just trade the bull by itself if you wanted to, or the bear by itself. Anyway, play will continue until somebody reaches the point limit, and whoever scores that will be the winner. And there you have it, that's Pit. Now, you probably can't tell so much from the video, but it is a crazy yelling fest. It's so loud and so chaotic, and it's a blast. Now, you might be thinking, how did you not know about this game? It's been out for well over 100 years. Many people talk about it. Now, that's the reason I chose to review this first off, is because I really didn't pay attention to this game. I kind of just shrugged it off. I saw it in Barnes & Noble and was like, retail game, whatever. Which is kind of interesting because I pretty much play anything. So I saw it one day, people were talking about it. I decided to say, hey, why not? It sounds kind of chaotic. Sure, we always need like that short little filler or whatever. So I got it, we started playing it. Craziness ensued. But I will say that the game probably goes on a little too long for our tastes, because if you're playing with 8 players, which we always choose to play this game with like 7 and 8 players, never smaller. I mean, I think the more players, the funner it is, but the thing is, with 8 people, only one person's scoring each round, so you play up to 500, and you don't want to just play it for short, because then everybody's trying to go for the high card, but really, there's no strategy there. I mean, it's so chaotic, you just go with whatever you get the most cards with. But I think that we've implemented a small house rule. I don't know if this is perfectly balanced, but it is something we do, where if you at least have 8 cards, sometimes 7, depending on how we're feeling, whenever the bell's rung, you at least get half the points rounded down of whatever commodity you're holding in your hand. This ensures that maybe 2, maybe 3 people each round are getting points, and the game will at least come to an end, because with 8 people, man, you get 75 points in one turn, and you split that across 5 or 6 people. That's just not even everybody's got points, and they're so far away from 500. Even if you're playing 250, it seems like it can go on for a long time. So we don't really play much with the bull and the bear, but it does seem fun. For some reason, every time I've played this, we've always played it with new people, and I just choose to leave those out. But I have played it quite a bit, and I can say that this is definitely a game that people need to own, even if you just play it to where, you play to 150 points. I don't know. Some people might want to play it multiple rounds, but it kind of exhausts everyone after 30 minutes of screaming and yelling, and it's kind of like, okay, when's this game going to end? But overall, great game. I highly recommend it to at least families and anybody doing any kind of parties and such. It's very good, and it's going to make people scream with laughter. So anyway, that's Pit, and you can feel free to email me at timjennette@gmail.com. You can also follow me on Twitter and stuff. I'll put the stuff below. But till next time, keep on rocking, rolling dice.
Thanks so much for watching the Dice Tower videos. Find more great videos and reviews, as well as our top-rated audio podcast at Dicetower.com. You can also find other great shows at Dicetowernetwork.com. I'm Eric Summerer, and you've been watching The Dice Tower. The Dice Tower is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc., where you can find great games for great prices. Cool stuff in stock. Check them out at CoolStuffInc.com.